Preparing for landfall, Ian, now a major hurricane barreling towards Florida's west coast. Evacuations already ordered and underway. The latest on the storm's track and where it could make a direct hit. Thornton police make an arrest in last week's attempted abduction near a school. The man, authorities say, tried to grab a 10-year-old girl who fought him off at the STEM launch school. And looking for support, the two finalists for Aurora's police chief meeting with faith and community leaders today. How they say they would lead the department through a myriad of issues. But we begin with breaking news. Hurricane Ian, now a major Category 3 storm, has millions of people in Florida bracing for a historic landfall. So here's a live look at Ian on the radar. It's moving north, and forecasters say it could hit somewhere near Tampa. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has more on the preparations ahead of Ian's arrival.
Hurricane Ian is now forecasted to become a Category 4 hurricane by the end of the day, and landfall is expected to be in Venice, which is about 60 miles from where we are right now. In Tampa, evacuations have been underway for about the last 24 hours, and more people have been getting some of those evacuation orders as the day has gone on. Officials here are saying they're preparing for the worst-case scenario.
This one not looking too good. No, it's very big, it's very powerful, and it seems to have its eye on Tampa Bay.
It's expected to be the first major hurricane to make landfall in the U.S. this year, and Ian isn't pulling any punches. The storm has been rapidly strengthening, expected to bring a life-threatening storm surge to Florida's west coast. And for the first time in over 100 years, Tampa could get a direct hit.
Mother Nature always wins. This is nothing to mess around with. If you can leave, just leave now, and we will take care of your personal property.
Hillsborough County, which includes Tampa, issued a mandatory evacuation Monday for all waterfront areas.
There's still uncertainty with where that exact landfall will be, but just understand the impacts are going to be far, far broader than just where the eye of the storm happens to make landfall.
Several other counties have issued evacuation orders and are urging residents to get ready, warning those who think they might be in a safe area not to get complacent.
We're going to see Ian slow to a crawl once it makes landfall in Florida, moving only 4 or 5 miles per hour. We could see some areas get 20 to 25 inches of rainfall. So water is going to be a huge story with this storm, not just as it makes landfall, but even after it moves inland.
The storm is still expected to hit Tampa late Wednesday going into Thursday, with one of the biggest concerns being life-threatening surge, which could reach up to 10 feet. Now, a lot of those city services that people were taking advantage of, like sandbag distribution and even trash removal services, will no longer be there past this afternoon. Tampa's International Airport also closing down this evening. In Tampa, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, here at home, we, of course, are thinking of our friends in Florida. We will not be dealing with anything near that weather-wise. Some increasing clouds for us this afternoon. A live look from our Mile High cam. So far, so good this morning. Denver 7's Katie LaSalle joins us now. Sun is out now, Katie, but we may have to dodge some showers a little bit later on today.
Just a couple of showers, an isolated storm or two, mainly west and south of the metro area. But this morning, it's been really pleasant, pretty quiet here across Colorado with high 60s, low 70s right now. No weather alerts across the region. We'll stay under a partly cloudy sky for this afternoon, but we will start to see a little activity move into the mountains over the next several hours. Temperatures right now, we're in the low 70s, Denver over the northeastern plains, and up into the mountains, it's 50s and low 60s right now. We're expecting our daytime highs to still be about 5 degrees above average for this time in late September, 80 degrees out at DIA by about 3 o'clock, and upper 70s, Boulder down to Highlands Ranch. Into the mountains, increasing cloud coverage. A few showers will pop up mainly after 3 o'clock, and I'll take you through the full future cast if you can expect any raindrops in your neighborhood still to come.
All right, Katie, thank you. New this morning, Thornton police have made an arrest in last week's attempted abduction near a school. Overnight, they say Diego Gettler was booked into the Adams County Jail. Police released these surveillance photos of the suspect last Friday. They say a 10-year-old girl fought and got away from that suspect at the STEM launch school. For the first time, we're hearing from the two finalists who are hoping to become Aurora's new police chief. They spent the morning meeting with community leaders. Denver 7's Brandon Richard was at one of those meetings. He joins us now with more on how these candidates plan to lead the department if chosen for that job. Brandon?
Well, Jason, that meeting with the two finalists wrapped up about half an hour ago here at this church in Aurora. Both of the finalists appearing talking with community members, business, as well as faith leaders. It's one of several meetings that they'll be participating in over 3 days this week. Now, those two finalists, Scott Ebner and David Franklin, they outlined their vision for the Aurora Police Department. Both men said they want to focus on accountability and building trust both within and outside of the department. They each talked about how their backgrounds would help them in taking over a troubled department with low morale and one accused of racist policing.
I have a vast amount of experience setting up policy, holding people accountable to that policy. Not because it's a policy and it's only accountable to them. No, it's a policy that everyone has to adhere to.
Right, I'm a firm believer from a morale standpoint that cops need to understand this. The badge makes us more a part of the community, not apart from the community.
Now, one concern raised at the meeting was diversity. Some community members were disappointed that no persons of color or women were chosen as the finalists for police chief. Both Ebner and Franklin said making the force more diverse will be important to them. And members of the general public will have an opportunity to meet both of these finalists and ask them questions. There's going to be a community meet and greet from 6 to 8 o'clock tonight at the Aurora Civic Center. The lobby is where that will be held, at the Aurora Municipal Center, I should say. Again, everybody is invited to come out tonight. So we're live in Aurora. Brandon Richard, Denver 7.
Brandon, thank you. You can now end up in jail if you're caught shoplifting in Aurora. The city council approved an ordinance requiring a 3-day sentence for people caught shoplifting, and those for items worth more than $300. That is what would ultimately lead to that mandatory jail sentence. Now, this ordinance has been divisive. Those in favor believe it will prevent crime, but others say it will just mean putting more people in jail. Homelessness is a growing issue across the metro, and the city of Denver is putting out their new plan to try to fight that. As Denver 7's Veronica Acosta reports, the solution could be a tall order.
It's an ambitious plan for the year ahead, filled with everything from creating more affordable homes to also creating more programs that can help that homeless community. So this is a plan with very strict priorities. Creating and preserving more than 1,700 affordable homes at the top of that plan, expanding pathways to owning a home, which means building up those down payment programs. The city also wants to help more than 8,000 households with housing stability. That means getting them eviction legal defense and foreclosure prevention as well. The continued support of safe outdoor spaces and safe parking programs are also outlined in this plan because so many of our homeless neighbors are unsheltered. And when it comes to families, the city wants to invest in more hotel options for them, as well as case management. The city definitely wants the public's opinion on this. That's why it's opened up this virtual community forum, this meeting that's going to happen on October 18th at 5:30. There's also a community survey that people can fill out up until October 26th. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
RTD is planning now for changes coming in January. 28 bus and train routes will be changing. Some routes are expanding, but some are going away. Riders can weigh in at 2 meetings today.
So anything that people say during these public meetings does get rolled over and sent to our board of directors as part of the report before they go ahead and approve or make modifications and then approve the changes.
The meetings today are at noon and 6 p.m. You can get the link and see the list of changes on the RTD Denver website. Colorado Congressman Doug Lamborn is introducing new legislation to help schools combat the fentanyl crisis. The Protecting Kids from Fentanyl Act would allow schools to use federal COVID-19 relief funds to buy drug overdose reversing medicines like naloxone. It would also provide training for school nurses and staff. Now, for some extra context here, Congress has allocated about $205 billion between 2020 and 2021 to help schools. The fentanyl crisis has only gotten worse here in Colorado. In 2021, more than 900 Coloradans died from fentanyl poisoning. It's a 66% rise over what it was last year and quadruple what it was back in 2019. If you're working at the airport, picking someone up, or flying yourself today, you may see 2 different picket lines. Southwest Airlines flight attendants first say they want a new contract. They say the airline is profitable and they've waited 4 years for a new one.
There's a lot of things about your job that I think a lot of flyers don't understand.
Yes, ma'am. I think it came to the forefront when Delta gave their flight attendants the what they called boarding pay. Most airlines, in fact, all I think minus Delta now, don't pay flight attendants until basically the door shuts, and then when the door opens back again when you land at whatever city you are. So during boarding, if we have any passengers, when we have ground time and there's passengers on the plane, we are still performing safety sensitive duties, making sure we're there for their safety and comfort, obviously, but we are not getting paid our regular rate of pay during those times.
Now, Southwest flight attendants will picket in 11 cities, including Denver, today. We are told it's informational only. They will not disrupt operations. Now, there's also a second picket line today by United Airlines flight attendants. Its union told Denver 7 that they will be picketing at DIA today to demand 2 things. They want United to fix ongoing operational disruptions and focus more on people on the front lines. Evergreen could soon be home to a new off-leash dog park. The plans that are underway and how the community could make it happen. Plus, a Denver restaurant is opening up under a new name, its new look, and the biggest transformation coming to the former Tom's Diner.